Gareth C. You guys are absolutely incredible. So let's continue to pump up our lines tonight, you guys. We have such a fun call, and I've got some great guest hosts with me to talk about this. But let's first of all put a 1 in the chat if you know that this amazing incentive trip to Tulum was offered, and put a 2 in the chat if you're like, what in the world is everybody talking about Tulum for? Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know why we're going. I don't know how, like, we're getting there. So I'm seeing a lot of 1s, which is good. So maybe at some point there might be a recording. They're like, there's a 2. But the fact that you guys all know is absolutely incredible. I want to just break down the dates and the qualifications again, because I don't want someone to like, oh my gosh, I only had 8 enrollments, because they've upped the ante a little bit, right? Like our first ISA Dash to Mexico was 8 enrollments. So I heard someone today in a message saying, you only have to enroll 8. I'm like, no, you have to enroll 10. So the date, the time period of the contest started August 11th. Okay, so it started while we were in Orlando, and it ends October 10th. If you want a pro tip, set your date to at least October 1st. Okay, don't wait until the last minute. Don't be wondering in that last week if you think you're going to qualify. Don't find out that like someone used a coupon and an order that you thought was 100 BV was only 98 BV and it doesn't count. I mean, you just don't want to be in that position. Okay, so move your date up. Plus, it's only the first 200 businesses that qualify. And we're in a busy season, right? We're like hyped up after Orlando. We're excited. We've got NAD. We've got the 7-day wellness. I mean, the company's in momentum. So don't snooze, because you're going to miss this. Okay. So bump your date up, but the technical dates are August 11th to October 10th. If you're committed to setting your date to September 30th or October 1st, I want you to put exclamation points in the chat that you're like ready. You're putting your foot to the pedal and you're going to be the first to earn this. In addition to your 10 enrollments, that they must be on 100 BV or more, you need 4 consultants, brand new consultants. So someone who has fallen out that gets back does not count. 4 new personally enrolled customers that all find 2, and then 1 manager or above. Now, the same person can rank advance twice and count. So if I enroll Stephanie, today, and by the end of the week, she's a consultant, by the end of the contest period, she's a manager, that counts. Okay, I can count Stephanie for one of my consultants and the manager. However, if Stephanie was a consultant, 3 months ago, and I get her back, that doesn't count as a new one. You're not getting rewarded again for work you've already done. So during the time period, August 11th to October 10th, you need 10 new customers, 100 BV or more, 4 brand new consultants. That's 2 with 2. You guys don't overcomplicate that. You need to find 4 friends that all know 2. I mean, if you put Jessica and I in a hotel room tonight and like just said, do it, like we'll do it, right? Like that posture on like, who do you know that has longer, wants longer lashes? Who do you know that wants like their whole body to feel like they, are sucked into Spanx? Like, who do you know that wants to lean out and have more energy? Like, get your mom and sister on board. Go get your neighbor. Go walk over right now. So we're doing the 7-day wellness together. Call your old boss, whoever it is, and that excitement and that enthusiasm. And then 1 manager or above. Remember, it does not include the cycle rank advancement. So 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, it must be a manager or director executive. They're focused on the leadership. So like for me personally, and Nicola, I know you're listening to this, she's my newest manager, but she hit that before the contest period. So when she promotes to director, that will be one of mine, right? Same, April Braun on this call, she's already hit manager, but as I push her towards director, like those count as the rank advancements. So if you guys have any questions, reach out to somebody, but just like Stephanie said, 10-4-1. And I know that we had these amazing sheets that we encourage you guys to print out. Trudy made some, other people made some. I mean, I have my team that literally just on a notebook piece of paper, put 10 spots across the top. There are 4 consultants and 1 manager. It doesn't have to be pretty. I just want it in the forefront so that you're like, dang, this is what I have left to do. And you're like, whoop, whoop. I'm like crushing it, right? I'm already like halfway there, whatever it may be. So stay organized and have that. So I'm going to introduce, I've got 3 speakers. They all know that they've got about 10 minutes of love to give to you. And the very first woman I want to introduce, you guys all know her. She's my rock star and favorite person in the whole world, Laurie. She is a 3-star Crystal Executive, 4-star Golden Circle. But the reason I asked her to hop on here is because Laura has basically been winning trips left and right as long as she's been building. You know, we've been to Top Achievers many times. She qualified even when they were canceled because of the pandemic. We were just in Mexico together. And she is one that loves to travel. She loves to be able to take her family. You know, she's taken her husband. She talks about being able to take her kids on trips that she might not otherwise be able to do because of the time or because of the funds. But you put palm trees and like coconut cocktails in front of this girl and she's like, get the heck out of my way, I'm going. So I asked Laura to talk specifically tonight on how she does it, like what's her plan, what does she do, what are her experiences, and why she will never miss a trip again. So Laura, I'm going to mute and you can pop out and talk about how you're going to dash to Tulum. Can you not mute?
There we go. Okay, how to get that unmute button. Oh my gosh, I don't miss trips ever, ever. Why would you not want a free trip to a tropical paradise? How many of you went to Celebration in person? Just give me $signs in the chat. Give me some $signs in the chat if you were there. And if you were there, did it change your life? Like, was it life-changing to be with your people, to hug on, love on? Give me some 7s in the chat if it was life-changing. I see the 7s coming and the $signs. I love it. Okay, so here's what I want to say. Imagine it's December, you're freezing, okay? And you have an opportunity to go sit on a beach with a frosty beverage with your most favorite ice and peeps. Why would you not want to get there? So I hope you all love travel as much as me, but there is absolutely nothing in the world like going to a tropical place with a bunch of incredible ISA people that are driven, that you can learn so much from, and just hanging out in a pool or hanging out on a beach, chatting, loving on one another, and just having an incredible, incredible time. So I really want to cast that vision. If you've never been on an ISA trip, it's far different than Celebration, although Celebration was amazing. It is so different to just be surrounded by incredible, like-minded, successful, incredible people in paradise, and to just be around them and rubbing shoulders and getting tan lines and having an amazing time. Complete pleasure trip, right? So I say all of that. There are some strategies and some things that I do to ensure that I make these trips happen. And the very first thing I do is I track what I need to accomplish. So if you don't have some kind of tracker in place, I would encourage you to do it. Guys, as soon as I heard about Tulum at Celebration, I'm at the airport, I'm waiting for my plane, and I've got my notebook right in the front cover. I mapped out exactly what I need to do, and I started plugging in. I made notes. Okay, who are my enrollments going to be? Who are my consultants going to be? Who am I going to rank advance? Who are these people? It may or may not be those people, but I put a plan in place, and that's where I started. And then the next thing I did was I got some accountability partners in all of this. I text this to the team and I said, here we go. Here's my map. Who's running? Who's going with me? And we all were like, oh my gosh, it doesn't have to be pretty. If you like the pretty picture and you want to print it out, please do it, but don't spend so much time getting ready to get ready. A piece of paper is perfectly fine. Have a tracker, get an accountability buddy or two that's going to run alongside you. And then the very next thing, these people that are consultants and I'm going to rank advance, I messaged all of them and said, I'm going to Tulum and I can't think of another person that I would want sitting next to me drinking a frosty drink than you. It's an even playing field. Anybody can win this trip and I want you to come with me. So that's going to help me create, if they don't do anything else but share with a couple people, it's going to help me with consultants. But chances are I'm going to rank advance some people in the process, right? Because who doesn't want a free trip to a tropical paradise? So step one, map it out. Step two, get accountability partners. Step three, the people that you are intending to share with, reach out to them. Say, you're my person. Let's go to Tulum. I don't want to go without you. You can do this. I'm here to help you. Reach out to those people, cast the vision, tell them what's possible. Should like have them close their eyes and just imagine it's freezing cold in December and they're sitting on the beach in a lounge chair with a frosty drink and say, okay, let's run. We can do this. So those are the first 3 really big steps. But then like you've got to hit the pavement and you've got to go, right? So you've got the plan, you've talked to the people, and now you've got to take the action. And it is the first 200 people. And one of the things everybody says in this business is speed is sexy. But for trips like this, it's super sexy. So the faster you go, and the faster you start accumulating those enrollments and you're reaching out and you're creating those consultants, you want to be the top 200. So speed is definitely sexy. And I totally agree with Lauren. We know that the date is 10-10. Don't make that your date. Make your date 10-1. I'm going to accomplish this by 10-1. Maybe you want to accomplish it in September instead of September date because you want to be one of those top 200 people that earns the trip. So speed is definitely sexy. Lock arms with the people that have the same vision you have and go. That is my seriously, my very, very best advice on getting there. And then there's some other things, guys. Don't stop. I love what Isagenix did with this trip. They put in some extra cash for us. So if you can create 1 manager or you can create 2 managers and get $250. If you create 3 managers, you get another $250. So not only do you have this all expense paid trip to Tulum, now you have the potential to earn $500 additional and spend money. That could be extra excursions. That could be, extra gifts you bring home for people in your family, whatever that looks like. But I'm telling you, don't stop at the minimum. I love that they gave us some extra incentives here to not just create 1 manager, 1 director, but to really just keep that going and earn that extra cash. And then one more thing, I have my notebook. My notebook goes absolutely everywhere with me, and I keep it with my leader in action. I know we're going to be talking about that in a little bit. The other thing I do in my office, and again, it doesn't have to be fancy. You can take a piece of poster board. I keep this with exactly the whole Tulum mapped out on my whiteboard. I keep it on the wall right next to me in my office. So it is constantly something I'm seeing. And I can say, oh gosh, I only have 6 enrollments. I'm going to reach out to, 20 more people today because I need 10 enrollments. Or, Susie's 1 away from hitting consultant. I'm going to reach out to her, whatever that is. So have your little slip of paper, but I would really encourage you as we manifest the things that we want, get it up in front of you, get it on a poster board, get it on a whiteboard, and then get some Post-it notes, put it around. What do you need to do? What do you need to hit? Print out a pretty picture of Tulum, put it on your mirror, tell your family, tell them what you're going for. I don't want to drop that. Tell them what you're working on and get them behind you. So they're pushing you and encouraging you. My husband wants to go to Tulum. He's like, you need to get up there and go make some phone calls because he wants to go sit on the beach in Tulum this year. So get those people involved in what you're doing because they'll help you, they'll push you, and they'll support you. Like maybe why you're not at dinner with them tonight, but you're on the phone. No, honey, go make those phone calls. We're going to Tulum, right? So definitely get your family or those people that are close with you involved in what your goals are so they can cheer you on and support you as well instead of being annoyed that you're not around, to watch a movie at night or to, have dinner. But this is really something that you want to be clear your calendar. Like, I'm not going to binge on Netflix. I'm not going to binge on whatever show. It can all wait till you have earned this trip to Tulum, right? And then that can be your reward. Have a day of binging whatever show it is that you love on Netflix or whatever it is you're doing, and really make that commitment with your time for what you're going to do. And Lauren, that's really what I have. And those are the things that I do when these trips come up. If there's anything else you want me to add on there, girl, just let me know. But those are the things that I do and I encourage my team to do.
Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. You guys should type some takeaways in there. But that part about like planning as if, like, I came back from Orlando and one of the first things Brian said, he goes, what's Tulum? When is that? I was like, yeah, you should just block off those dates. You know, like the last few things, like he hasn't come with me. And he's like, okay. And he like put in a request to work. I mean, it's December, like for now that we're going. I mean, that's just like we're treating it like that will absolutely happen. So I love that tip, you know, and just bringing the people with you. There was a couple people that asked the verbiage that you had on the there's no one better that I'd love to sit and share a frosty beverage with. Like, I want you to come with me. If you can type that in the chat, there's people kind of asking for that, but just tracking it and just staying focused. I think that's absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to bring out next, you guys, Tawni Ledford, and we were introduced just a couple months ago by a mutual friend. And I was so impressed with her when I first met her. She's a high-end luxury realtor. She has some experience in network marketing, but she has grounded her feet here in Isogenics and basically just thought like, oh my gosh, there's nothing like these products. There's nothing like the compensation. She just crushed her first 7-day. I mean, if you guys have not seen her pictures, you need to see them. They're bananas. And her skin, the collagen. And so, I mean, she's just this like walking billboard right now, but has seen the vision. And now like with this amazing company is like ready to go. But in addition to being this high-end luxury realtor, you guys, she's a very, very skilled event planner. She does private parties, and we're sitting at Celebration, and she sends me a text of like, I can send this to anybody who might be interested, probably 20 names of the most clever pop-up fun get-togethers. And I was like sitting next to Laura, look what Tawni just sent me. Like, I'm already bought in, I'm already drinking the Kool-Aid, and I want to go to all these parties. And I said, will you get on the team call and talk about how you make the most fun events, some of the things that you're doing, how you promote to them, because the more people that you can get in front of, the more enrollments you're going to get. And when you do things like encourage people to come in to come with friends, I mean, you're going to have like just consultants popping like popcorn. And so, Tawni, I'm going to turn it over to you and just let you drop the genius on here. You guys seriously get your pen and paper out, because you all are going to throw the most Prosecco filled fabulous parties after you hear from her.
Hello. So I do a lot of events just for fun. I kind of started with real estate, trying to get different business owners together, small businesses, so that they could benefit from each other's clientele. And it was all very mutually beneficial, which is still the mindset I have with Isogenics. I want to have business builders. So with our products, we have so many, and people love themes. So as we were sitting in Celebration, I'm just like learning every product. I'm like, we can throw an event for this, this, and this. My first one is going to be the end of summer party. It's a pretty Prosecco pool party. So I do definitely tell people what the event is, because you don't want to surprise them. So that one says, come join me by the pool for Prosecco popsicles, anti-aging cocktails, and energizing flavor shots. And then I'll put these in the chat here, but we're going to do another event later this month, specifically targeting business owners, called Beauty, Branding, and Barbie. So it's going to be a Barbie theme. And we're having a photographer come in offering headshots for the business owners during that 2-hour slot, but then we'll have our mixers. We're going to do a Witches Elixir mixer for the Hocus Pocus premiere in October. And then I have a friend who does body sculpting. So we're going to do a body sculpting and beauty party for her. And then you can do some virtual events as well, like a bake and take, like the mug cakes that were up on the screen. So you can teach people how to make things that they can interact with our products, even if you're sitting from home. I know that there's a lot of people who are either stay-at-home moms, or they have health conditions and they can't throw parties or be around other people. You can still do virtual events for everyone. Yeah, so for the bake and take, we'll do like mug cakes, protein balls, and then an Energize and Rise networking or afternoon buzz for some business owners. So the Energize and Rise products, I would do the nootropic and the recharge NAD, and really talk about how that maximizes your brain function, especially people in the offices. They always grab that like third cup of coffee around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So you can offer them something else to pick them up. You can do a mocktail mixology party. So you can grab all of the BIAs, any of our collagen elixirs, and just kind of experiment with different fun cocktails for the people who don't drink. And then bubbles for brains. You could do a book club. So you can have bubbly, have our, the recharge NAD, and just kind of just gather in little tiny groups. It doesn't have to be expensive, but you do want to reach out to everybody that you know and just offer them something different. So a lot of people have either been to some events like this and they kind of get bored of it. So you definitely want to shake it up, base your parties around themes for the holidays or around new products. And then the way I promote them is again, because everybody has a different preference on how they communicate, I send texts to everyone. I put my events on Facebook. I do a Facebook post and an event, and then do the email e-bites. That's all I've got.
Okay, so you guys, she's like totally so humble and everything here, but when I tell you she's thrown like fun parties, I mean, and put people together that like the vendors like invested in this. I mean, she's so skilled on not like breaking the bank, you know, and doing it. But I will say I'm very impressed with the transparency. So if you go look at Tawni's page and you can see exactly what she's saying about the Prosecco, like it's basically it's Labor Day weekend, it's end of summer. Like, okay, of course we want to go have some bubbles and lay by the pool and get a tan. But people know her influence, they know her network. So no matter what, it's like, well, I want to be where she is because the type of people you want to meet are going to be there. But she's also not going to bait and switch people. It's not just like, oh, come to the pool party and then suddenly here's the anti-aging shots, you know, and people are thinking like, what, this was not the Prosecco that I had in mind. But it's not like the focus either, right? Like the products are there. And actually, Brianna, who's on the Zoom as well, Tawni and she are very good friends. We did a Zoom today about trying to have an event at a place that they're good friends with, that owns a bar. And it's like, how can we bring business to the bar? How can we absolutely, you know, talk about the products that we love? How can we do this networking? And that's what I really love about it. And Adrian McGovern, you know, Jessica's neighbor, is really good at this too. And I've seen Erika through some great parties, that it's not like the old school, like it makes our skin crawl thinking of like, you know, Tupperware parties and everyone sits around and you're like forced by like the door, you can't get out until you buy something, right? I mean, the highlight is the value and the networking and the transparency, but the creativity is what makes it sexy. Like people want these products, right? But they don't necessarily want to be sold. But when they go, oh my gosh, for my Saturday afternoon, like I'll invest some time and I can learn about it and I can bring some friends and want to meet some cool people. That's where you'll really see the attendance. And so follow her, maybe reach out to her, but I would love to just see in the chat who recently has had a party or who is having one up and coming. You guys, I'm driving about 2 hours to Cheyenne, Wyoming on Sunday for one of my new girls. She's a rockin' esthetician for a bagels and Botox party, right? I mean, this is like I've never done it. Let's go. Like I'm bringing the bagels, she's doing Botox, we're talking about the collagen. I mean, there's so many ideas out there. And I love that you just have themed them with all the individual products. Because it's true. People are like, I know about the collagen. I know about the collagen. And to be able to highlight the different products, that it's not so overwhelming. Because we try and teach the kitchen sink at once, the confused mind does nothing. You know, so if you just highlight the nootropic or just highlight the 7-day, I mean, you're going to have a ton of orders there. So you guys, Erika Rothenberger in total Erika fashion at 4:30 in the morning today, I get a whoop whoop message and she's like, hey, it's the first week of Leader in Action and blah, 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 blah. Here's my goals. And she's like, I don't think people are doing this. And I'm like, you know, I haven't even had coffee yet, but I was like, all right, we're ready. We're rocking and rolling. And I said, it goes in perfect alignment for tonight's call. So we were talking about tracking your, you know, points to Tulum and just really how important this is. And if you didn't see it in my chat, I was saying, if you went to Tulum, you are like springboarding yourself forward into Fiji as well. And we're only halfway through the contest because all of those points for Tulum are the exact same thing that you need to do in order to get your butt into Fiji. And so, and Erika's like, we should talk about this. I'm like, you should talk about this. And so you guys know Erika Rothenberger, 6-star Golden Circle. I mean, she just told her beautiful, beautiful story at Celebration. But if there's anyone that drives the line with Leader in Action, I mean, there's no one better. And I've been in threads when there's blitz weeks and I'm like, man, I think I'm in action. And like she will put a firecracker right in your tush. So Erika, let's talk about Leader in Action and really how to get to work with this. And I'll share the screen. I know you want me to.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, you can share that in 1 second. So I am so excited to be here. And I gave a woo woo If anyone knows me, that's the kind of like energy I love to start with the morning, just revs me up. And now half my team says it back to me. It's almost become like our owl language to each other. But with that being said, Lauren, will you actually bring that down for 1 second? I don't want people to get distracted with that, but I so appreciate it. So this is what I want to say, guys. There's a couple things that I want to say before I show you the actual how to. Is I remember, I so vividly recall being really scared to use leader in action. And I remember being like, there's no way I can do it. I can't figure it out. It's too complicated. And that was about 4 years ago. Is anyone right now like scared to like print it out and use it? Can anyone be honest and put an S in the chat right now? Like you are scared to use it. You're scared, like it just feels foreign to you. You're not using it all the time. Let's be honest with each other. If it's a feeling like I wasn't using it, thank you, Alex, for being honest. I so appreciate it. Anna, yeah. So thank you for being honest, because guess what? I was there too. And I have someone that I have to thank, and that was Jackie Kirby. I remember being away with her on an awards trip, and she was like, I am using it. And I was like, well, if Jackie's using it, I better be using it, because we were with Jessica and I already knew Jessica was using it religiously. And I'm like, why am I not following leaders? So I made a commitment to myself that I was going to make leader action non-negotiable. And believe me, the people who have made it non-negotiable, Ann and Holly, before 11:59:59 every Sunday night, I mean, their leader in action always comes through. Guys, look who's number 13 and number 15 for Fiji right now. They track what they do. Guys, when you have a plan, you write it down, and you have actionable steps with it, you're 76% more likely to make those goals come true. Guys, those are just stats. That's not even doing any of the work. That's writing it down, executing it, and making it happen, because you're committing it. You're talking to someone else about it. So why do we ask you to share it with other people? We ask you to share it with other people so other people can help you. Other people can help monitor your growth. There's a report in the back office that shows you where everyone's points are at. Yesterday, I was reaching out to people. Hey, Lindsay Crouch, if you get this, you'll get this many leader in action points. And remember, leader in action goes to the pools, it goes to Fiji, it goes to Tulum. Guys, leader in action is the foundation building blocks of our entire company, of our entire success, of the entire growth. If you're not using it, I'm begging you to make that part of your habit, make it part of your DNA. It's almost like driving your car with your blindfold on down the road and saying, hey, I'm just not going to do it, and haphazardly hoping and praying you're going to get to your destination safely. You wouldn't do that. So do me a favor, print it out. And what I will say is at the beginning of every year, I print out 12 of them, and I literally tape them in my notebook every month, right? And it goes 4, 4, 5, meaning 4 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. And I print them out, and at the beginning of every month, I am writing on there exactly what my plan is. And that's what we're going to show you there on this sheet that I sent out to my team this morning, because I'm like, listen, I have so many people that are running. Do they know what they should be doing on this? Right? So basically what I do at the beginning of the month, I write down everyone that I hope and expect to rank advance. Is there like a little download our new video editor? Can anyone see that graphic over where it says rank advance? Lauren, I don't know if you can X that out. No big deal. Anyways, at the top
I'm looking.
And it doesn't have to be super organized, guys. As you can see, there can be arrows, there can be highlighters, you can use pink, you can use pen, whatever you want to use, but just use it. Write down all of the people you want to and you're dreaming to rank advance, right? Manifest those people, talk about those people. My enrollments that I'm not ending the month without 10 people actively enrolled. And every time I enroll someone, they're getting written down right on that sheet. I'm putting at the bottom of every column what I'm expecting to get at the end of the month. So my first column is everyone that I'm going to enroll. I'm expecting to get at least 10 enrollments. I'm already maximizing my second column. That's my 2 PET, because that's me helping my directly enrolled people get their enrollments done. My third column is my rank advancements. And my rank advancements is who I'm going to help get to manager, how I'm getting those 3 more consultants for Tulum, how I'm going to maximize, get someone else to manager, director, executive. And then that last column, again, is your current active rank advance, where you are, where your rank is. And I make it non-negotiable that I stay at executive. Remember though, I've been doing this 5 years. So some of you don't get overwhelmed and be like, well, mine aren't 4s there. Everyone started with 0s. And I've had plenty of months where there's been a lot of 0s and a lot of 1s here. And my final number has been 4, right? But I've done it, you know what I mean? Or 5, I guess, because you can't get less than 2 in that second column, or that third column. So anyways, what I will say is I always put a goal for myself. I always put a goal. Like this month, my goal is 62 points. My stretch goal is 74, but I have a plan of how I'm going to get there. I'm not just saying enroll. I'm not just saying rank advance. I'm specifically, and those people know on my team that I'm working with them. We've made a commitment that we're going to do everything we can to get them there. And then at the bottom, I started putting Tulum down there. I have Tulum in my notebook. I have the sheet, but every day I look at my leader in action. So it's when it's there. And when I added 2 more, today I got 2 enrollments. Guess what? I have 2 more Tulums to check off today, right? And getting excited about it, making this your roadmap, your navigation to how you're getting from point A to point B in the quickest, most effective, most efficient manner possible is this. And it's not complicated. Who you enroll, who your direct enrollments enroll, who you're going to rank advance, and what rank you want to stay at, what rank you're going to stay at. And remember, that rank that you're going to stay at can change. So all I'm saying is make that a priority. I also track my cycles on there. That is not part of that, but I do track my cycles because what you track grows. And what you feed with nurture and water and, all your heart and emotion is also going to grow. So if you're putting it there and you're tracking it and it's in front of you, you're going to get better results, right? Why do they give us a measuring tape when we first started the Isagenix program? Because we want to see where the inches are being lost, right? And if we're not measuring it, we don't know where we're going. So I guess the moral of the story is, guys, statistically, 76 higher percentage, 30% more likely to achieve your goals when you write them down and you come up with an actionable plan. Isagenix has given you the actionable plan. All you need is the pen and the paper. And did you know that 83% of our population never writes down their goals? You guys are a rarity. If you're already writing your goals, like you're already so far ahead of the population out there. But now let's take it to the next level. Let's be the 1% and 2%ers out there. And this gives us the guide. Isagenix has given us the golden roadmap to be able to do this. And if you're nervous about it, awesome. Because you know what? That means you're ready to grow. But get it out. Today's the first day. Today's a perfect day to start. And that's why I mentioned it. That's why I whooped Lauren this morning saying, hey, we got to talk about this. We got to make sure, because what happens is if we're day 7, day 9 into the month, people are like, oh, I'll wait till next month. Don't wait. Do it now. Print it out. If you don't have a printer, because I've heard that excuse too, my dog ate my homework excuse, put it on a cocktail napkin. I don't care. You can make the grids, right? 4x4, 4x5, whatever it is. So this is what I want to say, guys. I am so excited for all these trips coming up. I'm so excited for these growth. And I will tell you, if you make this a habit, just like you do a 30-day with Isagenix, after 30 days, if you do this consistently, you use this, you follow the pattern, you ask the questions, no matter what your number is at the end of the day, you will start creating a good habit. And those good habits will foster into October and foster into November. And guess what? Your team will start doing it. But share it with other people. Make sure you have no 0s in any of the columns at the end of the month. So you're tracking that. Why lose out on those points? And come up with a roadmap. Write on it. Come up with your plan. And your plan may change during the course of the month. It may not be the people you put on there. And that's okay. This is your roadmap, your yellow brick road. Follow it, embrace it, share it, and let's go.
All All right, you guys, if you are ready to do your leader in action, I want you to type Yellow Brick Road in the chat, because that was like the favorite little line of the night. But I do want to show you, because success leaves clues, you guys, as she said this. So I did the same thing in January. The first thing on my first page is the commission month, because it's a 4-4-5 schedule. And everyone's like, when does the weekend, when does the month end? And you just know, when does it start and end? And if you have 4 weeks to 5 weeks, January, I can tell you exactly my points for February. Like I knew last week was the end of August and started September. And I've won every single trip that Isogenics has offered as long as I've been eligible. So like the first top achievers, Jess and I weren't eligible. Janny was in Laguna Beach. She sent us the most luxury, like infused salts while she was there. Like we got like this truffle salt and something. We're like, what is she doing? You know? And she was like, oh my gosh, you guys are going to be in blah, blah, blah next year with me. I think it was Hawaii. I don't even remember, to be completely honest. No, was it, where was our first top, Hilton Head or something? We got our very first top achievers. And it was, you know, she just cast this vision for us, and you'll never miss it. And I think about the cruises, the, ISO derbies, the ISO dash, the top achievers. I mean, the company is so generous, right? And they're going to put it out there that, I mean, I have a standard that if the Cougars have money on the table, I'm going to grab it. If they want to send us on these luxurious trips, I'm not going to miss it, because I'm going to be really candid. It's almost insulting. Like if the company is coming together and saying, we're going to send you to these 5-star resorts, and you're like, I don't really care, I've been to Tulum, or like, oh, I don't really need to work for it. Like, shame on you, right? Like, truthfully, that's like my mambo mentality about it, because it's so glam, and they treat you like royalty, like the giveaway and the swag and the welcomes. And it's like, where in the world would you ever experience something like that? And so I wanted to just leave you guys with just a few things. I know we're getting close to the end of the hour, and I'm not going to go the whole time, but on like why I really think this matters. Because, you know, Tawni's shown you how to throw some fun events. I mean, you can throw one of those parties and get your 10 enrollments from one party. I mean, truthfully, like Colleen just had an event at her boutique, and like 10 enrollments or 13 enrollments, someone knows the exact number, from one event, you know? So it's something like, if you put yourself out there, and Laura has shared her story and the way she's doing it. Erika's absolutely mapping out leader in action. The one thing, because I know it wasn't all focused tonight on leader in action, but that is also a direct correlation with the pools. So someone who hit manager, like we went through the new rank advancements. If you hit manager last week, guess what? You have the whole month to play in the manager pools now, right? I mean, some of the new directors, that's the entire month to be earning in those. And for those of you that are paid as executive, every month there's up to $5,000 in the 4 to 6 star pools, right? A little bit less to the executive 3-star, but I mean, insane amounts that are there, all with leader in action. So when it's like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of headache. To anyone of my team that's like paid as executive, I'm like, so you just are not interested in the extra $5,000? Like, it's just not that important to you? I mean, truthfully, and I've got some girls that just hit manager. I'm like, that is $1,000 you're eligible to earn for the next 3 months. I'm like, 3K is not that important to you? I'm like, okay, cool, miss it out, because someone else is going to grab it, you know? But when you're doing the leader in action, just know that outside of those individual points, like we're looking at Fiji, we're looking at the long-term growth in your business, you're looking at the pools. There's a lot of reasons on why we do that. But if you don't think you're going to qualify for the trip, right? You're like, oh my gosh, like I have to compete against Jessica Rigner. Like, oh my gosh, like I have to go against Brandy Brokaw. How in the world will I ever get there? You guys, there's some things that are tailored to people with skill or seasoned leaders, right? Top Achievers is one of those. Qualifying for a top 50 dinner, qualifying for a top 100 dinner. The ISODASH, this is something that every single person could do. You don't even have to be enrolled yet. I mean, I can enroll you tomorrow and we can figure out how to get you there, because it's not something that you have to be a skilled leader for. It levels the playing field. And so if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I can't get there, like spend like a half a second, not any longer than that, just picking up your big girl pants and believing that you can be there, right? Like that you deserve to be there. And then, like Laura said, make those sacrifices and get to work. I am absolutely using this as a recruiting tool. And when I tell you I'm using it as a recruiting tool, be clear that I'm not just posting the cute little stories we have and hoping someone reaches out to me. It's great. It makes it fun. No one knows what it is. They just see like beach trip and they are like, how would I ever be there? It's doing exactly what Laura said. It's making a dream list. I will tell you, of my team, there are some people I love to hang out with, right? Like I can't wait to go on vacation with Laurie. Like we get excited about that, right? I get motivated to be able to see other people in the company. Like I get to be around Hillary Courtney, or I get to see Ann, I get to see Jess, I get to see Holly, you know, some other people that we're cross-line relationships with. There are some people too, I'm like, man, I don't want to get stuck in the pool, like talking to them. And so guess what? I'm recruiting my team, like messaging them exactly like Laura said, and being like, hey, I know that network marketing has never really been your thing, but I know how much you love to go on vacation. And they just launched the contest that leveled the playing field. Like, if nothing else, get your butt to Tulum with me. Like, let's go on this trip. You know, I've looked at other networkers and just said, hey, I know that that's your baby and that's your full-time bread and butter, but I also know you love our products. And with like a little bit of work for the next few weeks, like you could win this trip. Like, at least give yourself like an early Christmas vacation and let's go to Tulum together. I mean, it can absolutely be a massive recruiting tool when you are intentional about it. When I tell you to have gratitude around it, like, the company doesn't have to do this. Like, I hope you guys realize, like, Isagenix and the Coopers are in a position, they don't have to do this. But when they sit around, and Jessica will tell you this, I mean, Erika can tell you this, being on the fab, and when you put the ELT together and they go, what can we do for the field? What do they really want right now? Like, how can we help them? We're back to what Laura said. You know what's really cold in December? St. Louis. You know what else is really cold? Philly, Denver, right? We're in these places. And so I know right now we just came back from Orlando and we still have our tans. But when your vitamin D is down and you've been shoveling snow and your jeans are wet from running errands, and you can picture yourself tickling your toes in the sand with your little foo-foo-y frozen cocktail beverage, I mean, you've got to just see it now and like plan on being there and just have the gratitude that the Coopers are putting it out there. In addition to your cycles, in addition to your PIVs, in addition to the bonuses, like, what? I get to go on another vacation. I mean, for those of you that were just in Cabo, for those of you that went, you know, to Puerto Vallarta, I mean, type in the chat just a few takeaways of what that was like and why you're so fired up to go for another one. But I will say some of the richest moments in my entire build with Isagenix, which is coming up on 9 years in like just a couple weeks, has been on incentive trips. And I could tell you pivotal moments where I learned so much, and it did not come from a big trainer on stage, right? I mean, I remember being in Hawaii at Top Achievers, and Hillary Courtney and Justin Courtney, who are now couple of the year, pulling me aside, asking me how I was doing. I am not financially linked to them in any way, and giving me a strategy on how to build my mom's business so that I could retire her. Right. And I was like, what? I mean, I would never have learned that. The compensation plan was so complex to me at that point. But I had this moment of someone just genuinely, authentically pouring into me, helping me, you know, praying with me. And I thought, where in the world would I have ever learned that? So many of you guys know that we talk about, like, the four of us, we've been like the best of friends ever since. But it's Jessica Rigner, myself, Renee Schreibman, who is now Spirit of Isagenix, and Jamie Lynn Curley. None of us financially linked. We met on St. Thomas. We were brand new. We had been in the company for less than a year. None of us even knew how we got there, right? We were all top point earners, and everybody was like, how in the world did you guys do it? You had so many points. I mean, we were the epitome of ignorance on fire, but we have become the best of friends. And when we look back and laugh at these pictures, and we have now 9 years later handled all of our first time compliance called us. I mean, I remember the first time Jess was like, oh gosh, like compliance just called me, and we thought they were going to like take her commission away, like they were going to shut her business down. And then I was like, oh, by the time compliance called me, I was like, we know what to do, right? Like, we've been around here. Jess was the first to hit millionaire, you know, Renee was second, I was third, Jamie Lynn just hit it. And success leaves clues, but this amazing relationship that we've celebrated family, we've traveled together, but it came from a trip. And the people that will push you, the people that will believe in you, the people that keep this fun, right? Like when there's like wall kicking moments in your business that you're just super, super excited about. But it's also the sexy part of network marketing, right? It's the part that people don't get this in their jobs. And I will also tell you, they don't get it as solo entrepreneurs. And when I had my nutrition practice, let me tell you, I could barely make ends meet. There was no way I was putting an incentive trip, you know, 5-star class, all-inclusive resort for me, let alone an intern, right? Like things that were never going to happen. When I make my list of people who exchange time for money, right? When I make my list of people who work so hard for themselves, and I think about, man, how fun would it be to have them there? You know, like that gets me excited. And I'm not reaching out to people like, oh my gosh, you need to join my business and blah, 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 blah. I'm casting that vision to them. I was like, here's what I know. You work your tail off. And during December, when it tends to be a little bit slower because everybody's buying Christmas gifts, right? And they're not necessarily really coming in for personal training or facials or anything else. I said, I want you to treat yourself to a bomb vacation. You know, I want you to go tickle your toes in the sand and get recharged so that after Christmas, you're ready to crush it in the new year. Like, let me figure out how to give you this trip to yourself. I mean, I would have loved if someone had done that to me as a burnout nutritionist. I mean, it just wasn't even an option. And so when you put your pedal down, right, to the foot, and you're just like, or your foot to the pedal, whatever that saying is, you're like, I'm going to go for this. It's a little bit of just giving up what doesn't matter right now for what really matters, because the friendships you make, the memories you're going to have, the moments, the learning, the training is not worth watching whatever that Game of Thrones show was last night that people were bananas about, right? Like Ryan's like, I'm watching this. I was like, sweet, I got an hour to go work, you know? Whatever it may be, it's worth getting up a little bit earlier. It's worth staying up a little bit later. And the moments that not only you can learn from other people or you can pay it forward. Anne has a video, like I literally made her promise not to ever post it because I'm like in a bikini. Like she started asking me questions and we're sitting like on the side of these pool chairs and she just started recording me. And it was apparently I was a little bit tipsy and a little bit on with knowledge, but I just said, whatever that is, don't post that because I'm literally in a bikini. Like it was not a great like presentation, but at that moment, like it really helped somebody. And I've been on that receiving end, and that's where you want to be. You want to be in the pool, hanging out with people that say, this is what I did and this is how I got there, that you learn how to do this full time. You learn how to recruit somebody. You know, I talked to Jessica for 10 minutes yesterday in the car and got a whole brand new strategy of something. I was like, what did you do? Like, and I've been in this for 9 years and I'm still learning. And that's where you go to just be a sponge and just immerse yourself in people that have done it, because if they qualified, they did something well. You can learn from them, whether it's the new class or the seasoned class. So you guys, we have an amazing guest speaker next week. I'll just tell you that right now. She's a top earner in the company, top earner in the company. You guys don't want to miss it. I'm intentionally not telling you who it is right away, but Jess and I have already just started mapping out the calls for the fall with great guest speakers, great content, matching whatever's happening with the company, if there's seasonals, if there's promos, if there's trips. But in addition to these, please just be a great communicator, right? If it's ever overwhelming, if it's like going by your head, don't slide too small and like, I'm not good enough for this, or I'm never going to be able to do it. Just reach out and say, I really want what you're doing. Help me, like, help me. And there's times that, you know what, I could say it 8 times, but Laura says it the 9th time a different way and it lands, right? Jessica can say something over and over and over, and then Holly delivers it differently and it just lands. But when you are feeling the vibration of what we have coming out of Celebration, that the Cougars have not slowed down at all. Josh Plant has not slowed down at all. I mean, they are putting more money on the table, more trips on the table, more new products, that it is literally time to put your head down and go. Just literally, these are her exact words yesterday. I'm going to leave you with this. So I'm driving, I'm looking for a parking spot to go to the event with Emily Sutherland. And she's like, I mean, you're going to Fiji, right? Like you're like doing okay on Fiji. Like we don't really check each other on the leaderboard. And I said, yes, I'm definitely going. But I also told her transparently that I have been climbing from the bottom for the last few months, because January of 2021 was the lowest points I think I've ever had in Leader in Action. And for those of you that know, that's when I worked at Starbucks for like half a second trying to get those IVF benefits. And it was a reflection in the business. And so I think I was like 150 or 130 or something when it first came out. I was like, oh, hell no, right? And just like Erika said, man, I was like, I knew what I knew to get to normal, but I've been like, I got to overshoot to like make up for the month that I was like, not doing great, okay? And same thing, like Laura's asked me, what are your Leader in Action points? I'm like, 80 is the goal, 60 is the standard. Like if I don't have 60 points, like, I mean, I am like digging, like that is the standard. And as of last week, I think I'm like 50 or 53, I don't know, but I've gone up a long way. And by the time the contest ends, like a goal of mine is to be top 25. I mean, they give you some swag when you start to get to like top 5, top 10, you know, and it's going for it. And so she's like, okay, cool. So I wasn't exactly sure the strategy there when Jess asked me, but I got it afterwards. I know her well enough. She goes, well, here's what I'm doing. When I get back from the beach house, I'm building like my house is on fire. I'm building like I've never built, and we need to do it again. We're like, I need you to be accountable. Like we are going for it. And I was like, I like started to sweat a little bit because I've experienced this. Some of you have not, but I was like, oh, it's one thing to be in momentum when other people are building. It's another when you are the one building. And I was like, I'm in. And I like got off the phone and Emily's like, how are you? And I was like, I couldn't even tell her that. I was like, oh, I'm sweating because like Jessica just like, you know, she put the little torch to my hoo-ha and it's go time. But the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. And we are so fired up with everything the company has that I can just tell you, with or without you guys, we're going. We want you all to come with, right? Like we want you passing us, we want to lock arms and all of it. Go, go, let us cheer you on, like pass us through the ranks. But if it's like, I'm too busy, I'm too tired, I've got this going on, next. We will go find the hot molecules and run, because like everyone's typing in here is the bigger boats. Like all of the rest of the year going into 2023, it's going to be explosive with momentum and growth. So thank you all for amazing, amazing guest speakers tonight. Thank you for all the golden nuggets. Be on time next week. We're going to start with our guest speaker and keep track of Tulum. We can't wait to see you all there. Have a great night.